What does LA have to do to bring home the coveted Vince Lombardi trophy?
Also, is this Tom Brady's toughest Super Bowl opponent yet? And more college basketball talk. All that and more today on this episode of J&J Sportstalk.
Don't stop me now. Don't stop me, 'cause I'm having a good time, having a good time. A shooting star leaping through the sky like a tiger.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us another episode of J&J Sportstalk. Jerry, this is going to be a good one.
Yeah, lots of great sports topics to discuss. A little bit of football, a little basketball. Can't ask for that. No,
Absolutely.
That,
this is America. Super Bowl
This
weekend.
is America.
Super Bowl weekend. I think everybody's excited for this weekend.
Yeah, to be honest, it doesn't really feel like Super Bowl weekend yet. All this great basketball we're having. I'm just privileged to be in America.
Absolutely, absolutely. So start things off, get into the main event of the weekend. Jerry, Super Bowl question number one. What does Los Angeles need to do to take home the Vince Lombardi trophy and beat the big bad Patriots?
First of all, Jay, thank you for coming over to my house, this refugee of just sports knowledge, this sanctuary of just basketball, football knowledge. But anyway, thank you. Yes, the question. Sorry. I think if you've been watching, ESPN, NFL Network, they're all talking about how Sean McVay is a genius. So this is his toughest test, I believe. So one thing for him he has to do is find mismatches on offense. Lots of skill players, Brandon Cooks, Robert Woods, Gurley, Anderson, weapons for days. Also, I think you've also been hearing that Jared Goff is this year's Joe Flacco, meaning that he just kind of he's not that good of a quarterback. He just relies on the weapons around him. So I think you got to put him on an easy third down, just kind of get him comfortable, like 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4. And then ultimately you got to use Gurley and Anderson. Anderson inside the tackles, Gurley outside for the big play. But I think the matchups favor the Rams a little bit, but I wouldn't bet against Tom Brady.
I have to agree with that. Sean McVay going up against the GOAT, Bill Belichick. We know Bill Belichick's famous for kind of targeting one player and kind of taking him out of the game, but beauty of being an LA fan is you got quite a bit of weapons to choose from.
Lots of weapons, yes.
So I think one of the biggest things will be, can Jared Goff get in the rhythm? Because he has all the tools to make an absolute offensive powerhouse against a not amazing New England defense.
Yeah. I think the same thing goes for New England. You were saying they got to protect Tom Brady. That's definitely the best defense line they've faced, definitely in the NFL. I think Edelman's going to go up, and Brady's got weapons too. Use James White effectively. I think it's going to be a good ball game. Any Super Bowl predictions?
I cannot bet against Tom Brady, but I'm going to go. It's definitely going to be a shootout because I think if the Rams win, they're going to have to score points because I can't bet against Tom Brady not putting up points.
And also I don't trust the Rams defense. Wade Phillips is a great defense coordinator, but I just don't trust the Rams defense. Let's see. I think it's hard to bet against Tom Brady too, but it's hard to bet against Sean McVay. I think. I'm just hoping for a classic game.
I am too. I'm gonna hit you with the score. I'm gonna go Patriots 35, Rams 33.
Ooh, 33. Interesting score. So you're betting the under? No, wait, that'd be the over. Never mind. Let's see. I'd go Patriots. No, I'm just gonna go Rams 31, Patriots 27, just to spice it up. So they cover.
There are great arguments to bet on both teams.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, I just want to see a good game. It's gonna be a great game. I just love America. I love football. So
absolutely. And this is kind of the culmination of what's been a very interesting playoff run.
Oh yeah.
Throughout the NFL. Not going to delve in too much to the New Orleans situation. I think we've all heard enough about that. Jerry, give me your 2 cents on the whole situation.
So the pass interference call obviously should have been called, but at the end of the day, it's a human error game. There's going to be errors. The Saints still had a chance to win the game. They got the ball in overtime, so they can't really blame that much. Obviously, it was a terrible call, but you still had a chance to win. You still had one of the better quarterbacks of all time. I think they didn't execute, but it was still a terrible call. So,
And what were they up by 13?
Oh yeah, they still
Saints
blew it.
Were.
Yeah.
So really, yes, like Jerry said, bad call, but absolutely had control and could have won that game if they'd played better.
And if you go to, everyone wants a rematch, I think that's the dumbest rule. There's some rule of the commissioner.
Yes.
That'd cause way more controversy than a bad call.
And let's be real, that probably will never be put into effect, that rule. Because I don't think there's ever going to be an extreme situation to where that rule would ever be taking place. or put into effect. So, to be honest, feel bad for New Orleans fans. Very well could have turned the tides of the game for them, and we don't know exactly who would have won if that call was called, but feel bad for the Saints fans, but at the end of the day, you got to move on. Yeah,
I mean, that's a tough loss, but, great season. But,
slightly annoyed with the New Orleans head coach.
That was no class.
Yes. It's been a couple weeks now, and I'm still hearing
still
stuff out of his
salty.
mouth.
Yeah.
Which, I get it. Say it once, get it out. And I know I get it. It's got to be really hard not to talk about it because your team works so hard for this all year. But, I think it just shows less class on his part from Sean Payton.
Yeah, and the players acting all like boo-hoo. You lost. Yes. You still had a chance to win. I don't want to hear it. But that's a tough way to lose. If I was in their situation, I'd probably do the same thing. But looking like into the situation, I would try to handle it differently.
Yes. As a coach, you have to know that your players are looking at you, and if you conduct yourself in a certain way, if you don't talk about it, chances are there's a lesser chance of your players complaining about it a lot too.
Excellent point.
Yeah. Okay, so that's enough of the NFL for today. Obviously, super excited about Super Bowl weekend. Shout out Cody Garvin. We'll most likely be going over at his house tomorrow.
Shout out Cody Garvin. Yes, I love Cody Garvin.
Love that family.
Yes.
Now, getting into some college basketball, one of our favorite topics on this podcast.
I love me some college basketball.
Okay. Huge. This is taking place. I'm recording this right now on a Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday night special live from the Drummond Estate.
Absolutely. Live from Drummond Estate. Currently, Michigan State is battling out with Indiana, which I predicted Michigan win. Indiana's not looking great.
No.
But
it's a close game right now. So.
Absolutely. Jerry, what do you got for us in the world of college basketball first up?
Okay, so Jay, we were talking last night, and I was very high on the NC State team. Very high on the NC State team. I like Markel Johnson, I like Torrin Dorn, I like Braxton Beverly, but today, very embarrassing loss. 9 of 54 from the field. I'm the math major, about 17%. Losing 47-24. Was this a high school girls game?
Oh!
I like Kevin Keats. He's a winner. He's definitely ahead of the curve of his 3-year plan. You saw them go. They were down 14. They came back against Virginia. I've maybe a little bit of a letdown game, but Virginia Tech's still ranked. Like, you gotta. Thing with the ACC, you gotta come to play every game.
Absolutely.
Yep. And State didn't show today, and I was so high on them. I said they were a Sweet 16 lock. I don't know if they made it around 32.
You know what? And nobody's perfect, and we can appreciate people owning up to their faults.
Oh, it was terrible. Jay, I would love to hear your analysis of the Kentucky game.
Okay, yes. So today, huge game for Kentucky going up at Gainesville. Which is always a very tough place to play. Yes. On the side.
Yes.
Is indeed a smoke show
down
there in Gainesville.
Indeed a smoke show. Yes. Love the SEC schools.
Yes, SEC schools, and. Gainesville, very tough place to play, but Kentucky looking very well. Been playing some of their best basketball over the last 4 or 5 games, and I was pretty nervous coming into this one because I know that anything can happen in SEC play, and Florida has a talented enough roster to beat most teams in the conference. So I was very nervous, but I think the play of P.J. Washington is going to propel this team. As the team goes where he goes, and I think our best bet going forward is going to be playing through him pretty consistently because he's starting to show that there's not many people that can guard him, and if he can't find a shot, he's a very, very willing passer.
Yep.
And I think that's going to be huge for the Cats going forward.
Yeah. All I gotta say is PJ 15 and 12, great player. Earlier on in the year, I've been really hard on Tyler Hero. I like to apologize to Tyler Hero. He played a really good game today, 19 points. I don't like Tyler Hero, but I'll admit when I see great basketball, yeah, he played very well, hit a big shot. So, shout out to Tyler Hero. Jay, me and you always say UNC is a very inconsistent team. Sometimes they look like a Final Four team, other times they look like a bottom tier team.
Absolutely.
So I have some quick numbers for you to say. They still won.
Yes, UNC defeated at Louisville by 10 points,
huge win,
redeeming their enormous embarrassing loss at home earlier this year. But coming back strong, starting to look like a more composed, more consistent team, more of a group mindset.
Yeah. So my guy Luke May led the way with 20 points, 11 boards. Cam Johnson, very efficient player, 5 and 9, 19 and 10. And then Kobe White, who's been playing very well, only 3 of 14. But it just shows they got a lot of weapons. They don't really need Kobe White, but they didn't need him today. Mm-hmm. And so UNC, I don't know yet. Final 14 or not?
I think their ceiling.
The ceiling is the roof.
The ceiling is the roof.
Yes.
Forgot about that. Great point there. The ceiling is the roof. The roof being, I would say, the national championship. I would say they're capable of winning national championship.
You can't. I would never count out Roy Williams and the Tar Heels as much as I hate them.
Agreed.
I just hate North Carolina, but they're very fun to watch, I will say.
When they get it going, I would say Cam Johnson, being as tall as he is and being as good of a shooter as he is, when he gets going, probably one of the most unstoppable weapons in all of college basketball.
Great, 6'10" shooting guard. You can stretch the floor very well.
Great length.
Defend.
Absolutely.
Norm Williams knows how to coach.
Don't know how to call a timeout, but he sure does know how to coach.
R.I.P. So moving on from that, I guess you want to go into our overrated, underrated.
Okay, yes. This is a topic that I love looking at the overrated, underrated teams because I think that the casual viewer who just watches ESPN sees the Zion propaganda shoved down their throats 24/7. Can't argue the greatness of Zion, but the amount of Zion propaganda that is just forced down the common American people's throats each and every week.
It's Nazi propaganda.
It is. It is borderline. It is almost that.
It's fascist. I hate it.
So my overrated team right now, I'm going to go with Nevada. Now, I know that the Martin twins, very lethal scorers, can heat up in a hot minute. But I think that going forward, I haven't seen enough other weapons from them. And I think that the Martin twins taking the poor shot selection, that they do, could hurt them down the road. And playing out, what comes in Mountain West, I believe?
Yeah, Mountain West.
Not a great conference. And I get the other mid-major teams like Gonzaga can compete out there. And even though they don't play great competition, they still show up in the tournament.
And they're still a solid program.
Yes. Yeah. I don't see it from Nevada. I think they're much overrated, both in the polls and just in the minds of
the people.
The people, absolutely.
Yeah. So I had Nevada as well. I also had UNC, but I haven't taken them off. Michigan losing 2 losses. I don't know if they're overrated. I'm not sold on them yet.
I think they got off to an extremely hot start, but kind of at the beginning of the year, they looked like one of the most unstoppable teams in all college basketball.
Yeah.
Their offense was just filthy.
But I think they're going to turn around. So my underrated teams, I had NC State, RIP. I had Texas Tech. So all 3 of my underrated teams lost today. I had State, Texas Tech, and Louisville. So I guess it's a curse to be on my underrated list. So I might as well put UNC on my underrated list so they lose. I'll put Duke.
Okay, yes. What other teams are we going to put on our underrated list so they lose?
I'll just put the whole thing. Every team we hate.
Okay.
So let's see. Who else we hate? Oh, UNC. We hate UNC. Michigan.
Yes, we do.
I guess. So then from that, you want to go to the short list we have for national championship contenders?
Well, I got one more.
Okay, fair enough.
Kind of underrated team for you. I believe even though Louisville lost today, I think their defense, they're a very active group defensively.
Yes, I love Chris Mack, the coach. Great coach.
When it gets to tournament time, your offense might not always be with you every game, but if you can bring defense, it gives you a great chance.
Unless you're Virginia.
Games. Unless you're Virginia, yes.
Talking about Virginia, are you sold on them as a national championship contender yet?
No, and thank you, yes. I am almost positive that they will not win the national championship for a couple reasons. One, I believe they rely too much on their outside shooting for scoring. I believe their interior scoring can be inconsistent.
Jack Salt's terrible.
Jack Salt, not a great player. So I think their scoring relying on the outside can be deadly. And also, I believe the three-point line, if you get a team like, let's say, maybe UMBC, who can heat up from outside line, honestly, I think it's pretty simple how you beat Virginia. It's just not a lot of teams are capable of pulling up and shooting straight fire every single night.
Yeah,
but we can see
my rec team could do it.
Fair enough.
Shout
out Cody Co.
Yes, yes, love me some Cody Co. The thing for me is, ESPN, the four-letter network, very communist network. They're always like, oh well, Virginia's very developed offensively, different team. I get it. You have DeAndre Hunter, Kyle Guy, Ty Jeromes. I don't think they're over last year's loss. They're not going to lose a 16th team this year, but they could lose maybe round of 32, Sweet 16. Tony Bennett, hot seat alert.
By no means am I saying Virginia is a bad team.
Oh, no.
Virginia could very well make a great run.
We just hope they don't.
Four. I don't think they're going to do it simply because I think the formula to beat them is pretty plain and simple, and I think their offense is simply not good enough to hang with a team that, let's say a team is on fire and just cannot miss. I don't think their offense is good enough to hang with them. And,
you also saw Duke. I mean, obviously it's Duke, but they were just ISO balling the entire game, it felt like. I hate watching ISO ball. I love fundamental passing. If you take more than 3 dribbles, James Naismith, it used to be a 3-dribble rule. We should go back to that. Anyway, I don't like watching Virginia. I get it. If you're a Virginia fan, I feel bad for you. You probably got a great education though. So
probably, but it is boring basketball. Let me tell you.
Oh God, just screen. Oh, shut up. Just shoot the tray ball. Gosh. Oh, Tennessee plays tonight. We love some Tennessee. You don't love them, but they're fun to watch.
I can appreciate them because the overall athleticism and cohesiveness of their team, I think Grant Williams.
Shout out Providence Day.
Yep. Grant Williams and Admiral Schofield get the spotlight, but their entire team is full of athletes, and it can be very difficult to keep up with them both on the offensive and defensive end because of how athletic and lanky they are.
Shout out Rick Barnes, former Clemson coach, RIP. I love Rick Barnes. I think he's a great coach, one of the better coaches in the SEC. I would say maybe top 3. Pearl, Calipari, not in any order, then Barnes.
I would say so. Yes.
So Tennessee, I think they're a Final Four team, but I don't know if they're going to get there for sure. I think that they're a Final Four caliber team, I should say.
Yes. Right now, if I were to put my money on Tennessee making the Final Four, I would, and I'm a bit hesitant with that because we've seen on them go on cold shooting streaks,
and West Virginia, but they came back. But
not that every team isn't going to go through their streaks, but I think with a lot of times when their outside shot isn't falling, their team becomes a much more because they have a team full of players that love to drive and are very capable drivers. And I think when they're not hitting their outside shot, like I think when Admiral, their worst times as an offense is when Admiral Schofield goes cold from shooting.
Yeah, but the thing that you can also say, Schofield and Williams can really stretch the floor. And
they can.
I love that. I love a good big man that can shoot.
Schofield's been a great shooter, but he's also a very streaky shooter.
Yes, very massive. Probably loves the weight room. Loves protein. Love that.
And protein loves him, I think.
Oh, yes. They're just a great pair.
Absolutely.
So moving on from Tennessee to our short list of national championship contenders. For me, like I said, Tennessee, Duke. I had UVA in there, sadly. Kentucky. I'm high on Kentucky now. UNC, Gonzaga, just because I think everyone just sleeps on Gonzaga, and all of a sudden they're in the Final Four. Came close to winning in 2017?
Yes.
Michigan State, we're going to watch them in a little bit. And then Villanova. People are still sleeping on Villanova. Had this slow start, but hey, Jay Wright can get those boys playing in the right moments.
Absolutely. And with a coach like that, hard to throw out of the picture.
Yeah. So, Jay, what are your national championship contenders?
Obviously, the top 4, I'm going to go with Tennessee, Duke, Virginia, Gonzaga. Obviously, all very capable teams. I'm going to throw Michigan out of there simply because I believe that their offense, I think it's kind of showing their true colors now. Yep. I think their offense, I think Jordan Poole's a bit too inconsistent for me.
Yep.
And I just don't see, to win this tournament, you need consistency, and I haven't seen that from Michigan. I will throw Michigan State in there.
Fair enough.
Because I think that guard play wins in this tournament, and Cassius Winston, one of the best guards in all of college basketball. Yeah, the
only thing I wasn't going to have Michigan State. I did, but Josh Langford being hurt really hurts them. And then back to your saying on good guard play, I think, let's see, the one thing that hurts Tennessee, they have a great guard. They have good guards. I don't think they have a take over the game guard. Maybe you could say Bowden, but I don't think by any means he's.
I mean, to be honest, the guard play is good enough, but Grant Williams and Admiral Schofield can be so good that a lot of times I think they can just take over games regardless of how the guard play is.
So one blue blood that we're missing from this is Kansas.
Yes.
Inexperienced backcourt. I can't trust freshmen unless they go to Duke or Kentucky.
Fair enough.
Lawson, great player. I wish Azubuike was healthy or if he's going on with him. I love him. I don't trust Kansas. I don't think they're going to win the Big 12. I miss Kansas being good.
I'm gonna go into a little bit what is the true effect of Udoka Azubuike being out for Kansas, what that does for them. I think an absolutely grade A example of why Kansas needed them was the Kentucky game.
Yep.
Going up against Kentucky, who has two of the kind of very powerful front court, probably one of the strongest front courts in terms of size in college basketball. And without Azubuike, who was an absolute beast in the paint, they're left very vulnerable to the offensive glass and just post play in general. Reed Travis and P.J. Washington had their way in that game, and I think that's a key piece that's missing from this Kansas team.
Yeah, I'd also say watching a little bit of that game, because I had a rec game. Yeah, quick flex. Dedrick Lawson cannot defend. I think he's a very poor defender. You saw that P.J. Washington just abused him in the confines of the game, not after the game. He has class. Kansas. I want to put him on my list. Shout out Devon Dotson, Providence State, but I can't. I can't put him on my list. I can't. It hurts me.
Yes, and I think another thing that's been hurting them is if LeGerald Vick isn't taking the most, if not the second most shots, something is wrong with your team. Because with someone like him on the team, I was appalled and shocked, but also very happy about how little shots he took against Kentucky, because I know that he's one of the deadly shooters in all of America.
Yes, Clemson saw it firsthand. Very embarrassing. Another thing I want, moving our guest, we can talk a little bit about the game. I love Ashton Higgins. I love how he can defend. He's the best on-ball defender in college basketball. That is why Kentucky can win the national championship. Great guard play, great big man play, and they have the pedigree that team hasn't been there before, but Calipari's been there before. They're gonna be just fine.
Yes.
So if you had to pick the Final Four right now, who is it?
It's always kind of funny picking Final Four picks.
Yeah, it's not as easy as the playoff for college football.
Yeah, Final Four, I guess. This is the four teams that I would feel are most prepared to make a deep run in the tournament.
Yes, fair enough.
I'm gonna go Duke.
Okay.
Kentucky. Tennessee. And I'm gonna go UNC.
Okay, so 2 ACC, 2 SEC.
Yes. And the reason that I've picked Duke, I think it's going to take an elite team to beat them. If the way that they're going to lose in the early rounds is by being themselves.
Yeah, but they're so talented.
It's going to take an elite team to beat Duke, I think. So I think they're a shoo-in for a Final Four.
Knowing the NCAA, they're going to give Duke a little cakewalk.
As always.
It's so political.
Yes.
I like your Kentucky pick. I know you're Kentucky fans. People are going to think that's biased, but I agree with him. Like I just said. Tennessee, I like. UNC, I'm not sold on them completely.
Okay.
But it's UNC.
And I think that they're starting to put it together. And when this team's shooting, we've seen what they can do. Took down the number one team in the land, Gonzaga, earlier this year, and just be a very good Louisville team on the road.
If we saw, I think this was after the last podcast we did. A little late, but UNC, Virginia Tech. You were in the Bahamas. Quick flex.
Quick flex, yes.
They can shoot the rock. If they get hot, it's over. They could score in bunches. I mean, like 14-0 runs, like twice a game.
It's scary. It's scary.
Yeah. They like playing fast. I think that they up-tempo you.
Kobe White's one of the most electric guards in the country.
Oh, I love Kobe White. Shout out Hoop State, North Carolina. Went to Greenfield, I think. They did not play Shaw Christian because he was scared. For my Final Four, I think it's hard to go against Duke. My two locks are Duke and Kentucky. I would go. I like Gonzaga, actually. I'll take Gonzaga. And there's going to be one, sleeper.
Wild card?
Yeah, one wild card.
I'll pull the top 25 for you.
I would go. God, there's really not, a dominant team. I'll go Michigan State.
Okay.
If Langford wasn't hurt, lock, but so we agree on, 2?
Yes, and I'm going to throw in some teams kind of back into the top 25 that could potentially.
Actually, I'll take Villanova.
Okay.
Instead of Michigan State.
And I don't mind that.
Because I like Jay Wright. If Langford was healthy, I'll take Michigan State.
And some teams that I think could make noise, potentially upsets in the tournament. Although Florida State has not been playing their greatest, they're a very disruptive team defensively, extremely lengthy.
Yes, Terrence Mann's
and
massive.
I think kind of the only team this year that have really bothered Duke's length in transition.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I would say Florida State has a potential upset potential. I would also say Wisconsin.
I love Wisconsin. Yes, Jay. Yes.
Yes. Explain why you love Wisconsin so much.
I'll give you just 2 words. Ethan Happ.
What is
throwback big man.
Now, to describe the game of Ethan Happ for me.
Well, okay, so he can shoot, but like he doesn't fall in love with a 3-ball. So it's not like he's taking bad shots. And I watched him last night against Maryland. His back, when he has his back to his basket, he can, drop step,
it's a
baby hook, left hook, just beautiful. I just love Wisconsin. I love the way they play.
Absolutely.
I just don't know if they're going to go very far. But it really all depends on your seeding and your bracket. So, literally anyone can make it.
That's true.
You saw with Loyola Chicago.
Yes. Another Big Ten team here. I'm going to go Purdue. The
Carson
guard play of Carson Edwards. I think people kind of forgot about him since last year. Last year, one of the best players in all the country. Was televised a lot more. I feel like got a lot more media attention. Thank you to Zion for taking away the attention.
You're so selfish, Zion.
From true good guard play.
Should have went to Clemson.
Like Carson Edwards. Carson Edwards can do it all. One of the quickest triggers in college basketball, will pull up from wherever he wants, and can hit contested shots from wherever he wants.
I will say, Purdue's getting the short end of the stick when they play on Sunday. Like, it's my nap time. Like, I want to rest. It's my Sabbath.
And I think it is a bit annoying to play. Kind of Big Ten teams getting a little bit screwed over here because, let's be real, no one watches college basketball on a Sunday.
No, unless it's tournament Sunday, like the championship games.
Yes.
Let's see.
Marquette.
Marcus Howard, yes.
Marcus Howard, for those of you who don't know, Marcus Howard, one of I would say the best players in all of college basketball.
Under 6'2". Huh.
Can lightning quick, disgusting handle, and filthy 3-ball. Can score in an absolute. He'll be here and here and here everywhere all at once. In the blink of an eye, he'll have 15 points on you. But Marcus Howard, definitely. Guard play, as we said, is huge in this tournament. So that's why I think Marquette's going to be a tough team to play.
You literally saw it with Kemba Walker, UConn, not single-handedly, but basically single-handedly, winning a national championship. Sadly, against your Kentucky Wildcats.
R.I.P.
So I think the game's moving from, back then it was all big men, but you need a good guard.
Yes, and I think guard play, not that you necessarily always need elite guards to win a national championship, but I would say a good guard is required. We saw, I'm gonna quick flex here. The last time Kentucky won a national championship, 2012, Anthony Davis.
One generation.
Our guard was who's the guy on the Hawks? It was Marcus Teague. Yeah. Marcus Teague, not a fantastic point guard, but gets the job done. And again, Duke in 2015, Quinn Cook with the
I love Quinn Cook
seniority, and then Tyus Jones, not an amazing guard, but passes the ball well enough.
I would say for guard play, you either need to be elite or have experience.
Yes,
and if you can have either or. If you have both, different.
I would say there is nothing scarier. As this is kind of bit of a hot take right here. I think there's absolutely nothing scarier to go up against in college basketball than an experienced guard.
Aaron Craft.
Aaron Craft or who the Kansas guards from last year?
Mason and Grantham.
Frank Mason and Devontae Graham.
Yeah, Graham.
Senior guards, and then a Marcus Page perhaps.
Oh,
absolutely.
Kendall Marshall.
Experienced guards, possibly the best asset to have in all college basketball.
Yeah, but the question is, can you keep them to stay? Because they freaking knew
that's tough.
You can leave. So stupid.
So political.
It's all political. Everything's political, Jay.
Yes. All right. That's going to be all we have for the sports world today.
Yeah.
Quick story time.
Ooh, yes. Jay has some new drip.
Yes. My drip level times like 5. Okay.
I'd say times 1,000.
Okay. I got cute little earrings in right now. Had shout out
Luke Butler Vlogs.
Shout out Tori. Shout out Luke Butler Vlogs.
Yep.
And Luke's buddy Tori had give me a little drip. Came home. Shout out Jason taking it like a champ. Was not super mad.
Yeah.
But honestly, my confidence is soaring right now. I can run through a wall.
I cannot wait to see you at church tomorrow and see Mr. Cocoin. Very mad. We always go to church because we're good, holy young men.
If you go to church, it doesn't make you holy.
Yeah, I know.
We don't want to support that.
I was just joking.
All right, Jay, you got anything funny for us real quick?
Always bet the over.
Always bet the over. Lesson from Jerry Drummond.
Yep.
Thank you for joining us on another episode of J&J Sports Talk. See y'all next time.